Good afternoon. This is Delia De Silva for Gold FM, bringing you the news in detail.
The news headlines on Gold FM.
In the news headlines, MP Archana arrested. Suspect in Raleigh Pradesh Sabha chairman murder arrested. Over 300,000 workers impacted by Cyclone Dithwa, says ILO. China pledges to share expertise to rebuild Sri Lanka. Deep Sea mission busts 2 billion rupees worth of drugs. And in news overseas, India's Bahubali places heaviest ever satellite in orbit.
The top story on Gold FM.
Jaffna District MP Ramnathan Archana was arrested this morning after surrendering to the Colombo Fort Police. The arrest follows a warrant issued yesterday by the Fort Magistrate after the MP failed to appear before a scheduled hearing concerning charges of obstructing a police officer in the line of duty. The charges stem from an incident where the parliamentarian allegedly confronted and verbally abused the officer. The MP had previously been arrested and granted bail for the same offence, but his failure to attend court yesterday led to the new warrant. Upon his arrest today, the MP was taken into custody to be produced before the Fort Magistrate.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka Police and the military launched a comprehensive security and traffic operation today as the island prepares for midnight Christmas Mass. Special security measures are being enforced at every Catholic church nationwide to protect worshippers. The Police Media Division confirmed that both uniformed and plainclothes intelligence officers were deployed to financial institutions, shopping malls and public spaces. The main Christmas Eve service will be held tonight at St. Mary's Church, Usvatakayava, presided over by the Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit. To manage the heavy crowds expected at Gore-Face Green in central Colombo, a special traffic plan is in effect. If congestion peaks, police may restrict access or implement diversions at the NSA roundabout at Korpati near Gore-Face Green. Motorists travelling around Fort and Peta are warned that parking on pavements or obstructing main roads will result in immediate legal action. In a major boost for festive travellers, the Department of Railways fully reopened the Northern Railway line. The popular Yaldevi Express resumed its full journey between Colombo Fort and Kankasanture for the first time in 27 days, following flood repairs. The Sri Lanka Transport Board is also operating a special festive fleet. 107 additional buses will be on the roads until the 7th of December to meet the seasonal demand. 374,000 workers in Sri Lanka are impacted by the fallout of Cyclone Dithwa, leading to a staggering $48 million in lost monthly earnings. That's according to a new preliminary report by the International Labour Organization, which estimates that the aftermath of the cyclone put some 16% of Sri Lanka's GDP at risk. The brief reveals that the northern and eastern districts faced the worst flooding, while landslides devastated the central highlands. The impact on the nation's key industries has been catastrophic. Production losses in the tea industry are estimated at 35%, with smallholder farmers who produce the bulk of the country's tea bearing the brunt of the damage. ILO said agriculture and fisheries sectors were severely hit, with up to 23% of rice cultivating lands affected by the floods. The ILO is now calling for emergency cash assistance and employment-intensive recovery programs to help the most vulnerable return to the workforce. A group of plantation workers from the Stockholm estate in Norwood filed a formal complaint with the Human Rights Commission of Sri Lanka in Hatton, seeking urgent intervention regarding their housing safety. The workers, who were evacuated to the Bharatipuram Tamil Mahavidyalaya Safety Centre following the recent extreme weather, allege that authorities are pressuring them to return to homes deemed unsafe due to high landslide risks. Meanwhile, 16 families in Kegel are facing a terrifying reality as their homes began to crack and split due to the ongoing soil instability. While the National Building Research Institute conducted initial inspections, frustrated residents claim no concrete solutions have been offered. Many fear their homes are on the verge of collapse, especially following the heavy rains brought by Cyclone Dithwa late last month. The community is now demanding immediate relocation or structural support before a tragedy occurs. China reaffirmed its commitment to providing all necessary assistance to Sri Lanka, offering its share of expertise under the government's Rebuilding Sri Lanka initiative. The pledge was made by Wang Junsun, a member of the Communist Party of China's Central Committee, during a meeting with President Anil Kumar Dissanayake at the Presidential Secretariat yesterday. Wang, who is leading a high-level Chinese delegation in Sri Lanka, stated that Beijing is prepared to share its experiences in poverty eradication and support the president's anti-corruption and Clean Sri Lanka programs. President Anil Kumar Dissanayake expressed his gratitude for China's emergency humanitarian aid following the recent floods and landslides. The discussion also covered the continuation of ongoing projects funded by the Chinese government, new collaborations in rural development and infrastructure, and knowledge sharing based on China's success in eradicating rural poverty. Wang noted that his visit aims to further the friendship established during the president's recent official visit to China, ensuring that the long-standing close friendship between the two nations translates into practical support for the country's recovery. The narcotics seized from a multi-day fishing trawler earlier today have an estimated street value of nearly 2 billion rupees. This was stated by the State Minister of Defence, Major General Aruna Jayasekara. Following a high seas interception by the Sri Lankan Navy in the southern sea area, a vessel was brought to the Dikkovita Fisheries Harbour this morning. Upon inspection, officials discovered 11 sacks containing 21 kilograms of heroin and 160 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine, also known as ice. The trawler, which had departed from the Gandhara harbour on the 9th of December, was manned by 5 suspects, who were handed over to the Police Narcotics Bureau for interrogation. The Criminal Investigation Department arrested alleged drug kingpin Prasad Ram, alias Kururoshan, during a raid in Malagavatta. According to police media spokesperson ASP F.U. Wushla, the suspect was apprehended in possession of a 9mm firearm. In separate developments, a suspected accomplice in the assassination of Valigama Pradesh Sabha Chairman Lasantha Vikramasekara was also arrested. Meanwhile, the Financial Crimes Investigation Division arrested the suspect who allegedly abandoned a getaway motorcycle in Andgola following the murder of a manager of a business in Ambalangoda. He was arrested in Korpati.
Now for some news in brief.
The National Building Research Institute reports that Sri Lanka's air quality, which recently reached unhealthy levels, has now returned to normal.
The business news on Gold FM.
Gold prices surged to a record high today, climbing above $4,500 an ounce for the first time. The historic rally has been driven by escalating geopolitical tensions in Venezuela and growing expectations of further interest rate cuts by the US Federal Reserve. Other precious metals have followed suit, with silver and platinum also hitting all-time peaks. In the international markets, spot gold rose nearly 1% to hit a peak of $4,497, while US gold futures of February delivery pushed even higher to cross the $4,500 mark. However, the picture in Sri Lanka is rather different. Despite the global surge, local prices have remained stable. Raman Balasubramanian, the secretary of the All Ceylon Jewelers Association, says the domestic market is not reflecting the international trend due to a significant drop in consumer demand. He noted that prices in Sri Lanka did not move upwards and are unlikely to increase in the near term, as the local market continues to see very little buying activity.
Today, the 24 carat price is 354,000 and 22 carat price is 327,500.
The Ministry of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development dispersed the first round of financial aid to businesses crippled by Cyclone Detwa. 106.2 million rupees were released to support 531 registered industrialists across 12 districts. Each beneficiary received a one-time grant of 200,000 rupees to help restore operations in units that were either damaged or rendered inactive by the storm. The funds were channeled through district secretariats in the hardest hit areas, with nearly 10,000 industrialists recorded as being fully or partially affected. The first winter season flight from Poland arrived at Bandarnaik International Airport last night, marking the start of a new weekly tourist connection from Central Europe. The Smartwings Boeing 737 aircraft, carrying 180 passengers and 9 crew members, touched down from Warsaw at 10:10 p.m. Flights are scheduled to operate every Tuesday from Warsaw to Colombo until the 15th of March 2026. A new report from Fitch Ratings suggests that most Asia-Pacific nations have sufficient financial buffers to survive a turbulent 2026, even as US tariffs and a slowing Chinese economy threaten regional growth. The agency assigned a neutral outlook for the region's sovereigns, noting that while export-heavy economies will feel the pinch, many remain resilient. However, the report warns of a creeping debt burden and persistent political risks that could derail recovery. Fitch projects a mixed bag for the region's fiscal health, with median debt levels expected to climb. China's growth is forecast to cool to 4.1% in 2026, down from 4.8% in 2025, hampered by a lingering property slump and weak consumer demand. The median government debt-to-GDP ratio in the region is set to rise to 50.1%, up from 46.8% 2 years ago. Meanwhile, higher US tariffs will dampen demand for non-tech exports, although high-performing AI-related trade is expected to provide a necessary cushion. While most countries in the region hold a stable outlook, Thailand remains the sole outlier, with a negative outlook. Fitch attributes this to prolonged political uncertainty and mounting risks to the country's fiscal metrics.
International news on Gold FM.
India achieved a major milestone in space exploration this morning with the successful launch of the LV-M3-M6 rocket from Sriharikota. The heavy-lift vehicle, nicknamed Bahubali, successfully placed the Bluebird 6 satellite into orbit, the heaviest payload ever launched from Indian soil.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Emmy-winning television producer Kevin Arcade, who created the police drama New York Undercover, has died at the age of 68.
Sports News on Gold FM.
India's women's cricket team claimed a commanding win over Sri Lanka in the second T20 international. Electing to bowl first, the Indian attack restricted the visitors to 128 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. They then reached the target in just 11.5 overs with 7 wickets to spare. That's it for now. This is Delia De Silva for Gold FM. Thank you and have a lovely day ahead.